Hello and welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle and I'm here to do a reading for water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And it's early in the morning. Yeah, I just wish the lighting was better. I really need to invest in better lighting. Anyway, who cares, right? This is about the cards anyway. Um, Yes, so I've chosen 3 cards from Wisdom of the Oracle. I'll be clarifying with some other decks, and I have let the universe choose a song. Title of your song is what is it again? I have to look. It's early. I'm tired. I can see it in your face. I can see it in your face. And I think I'm gonna dive into the cards and then incorporate the song. Oh yeah, my readings are timeless, by the way. So whenever you catch this is the right time for you. Yeah. Oh, and happy Mercury retrograde, everyone. Oh, so yeah, it's gonna be real fun to see how things decide to come out of my mouth. Okay. Yeah, so first of all of your cards are upright. So that's something. We've got exchanging gifts. And this is basically focusing on um, giving and receiving, that there needs to be a balance between the two in your life. And in the book it talks about like a number of different opportunities coming your way, and being able and willing to show up authentically, provide value as you receive value or gifts, or whatever it is, whatever the opportunities are. um Hey, Trebsy. Hello. Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world. And then we have mending. And I think, it's a card of forgiveness. It's a card of, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Making amends. Um, I think this has to do with making amends with anyone where maybe you were giving too much, or maybe you were taking too much. There's somehow, typically when we have fallout with people, um, there's some kind of imbalance, and somebody has a problem. Somebody gets hurt, we get defensive, all the things. And so it's just owning your part of it, and just understanding everyone's doing their best with what they have, with what they know in the moment. And we all have our human moments. So to just try to forgive and understand and release yourself ultimately. Because when you forgive, you're actually releasing yourself from being stuck to the past, to situations. And and it brings you to a place of peace, of, you can just be in that place of happiness, contentment, serenity, because you've tied up the loose ends, you've smoothed things over. You don't have so much that's kind of creating anxiety or depression, or whatever things that we leave unfinished in our life make us feel. And I can see it in your face. I feel like, when you approach someone to make amends, when you actually forgive someone, they can tell if you're being authentic or not, if you're really being true to yourself, to the what's the word? Yeah, words. They can just, we'll just say they can tell. They can see it in your face. They can tell that you're really sincere. So let's go to the good tarot. Let's see how things go with the good tarot. Oh, just gotta have the humor, right? Find the humor in everything. All right. So we get the 6 of water. Yeah, I feel like you're finding yourself in this place of nostalgia, thinking about the past, wishing for the past, wishing for things to be different, or wishing that you could go back to the good old days, thinking back on times when things were better, not so not so full of friction, or whatever you might be dealing with. And especially this card in this deck, it's it's she looks so sad, feeling lots of pain. She's holding her stomach. And I noticed this not too long ago, where the reflection is not even her, it's someone else, and they're clasping their hands over their heart. And um, so there's a lot of deep emotions and sadness, grief, feeling like you lost a certain amount of your personal power in a situation, because she's holding her belly. And it's like, that's kind of the solar plexus area is is where we it's that place of personal power. And so it could be that in situations in the past, or, particular relationships, you have somehow given away your power. You have somehow ended up in a place of grief and sadness because things weren't balanced. And there's a certain amount of enabling that. So there's definitely a need to forgive yourself as well. Oh, but then we get the 10 of water. Yeah. I mean, and it's so beautiful because this is reflecting this peaceful place. Once you make those amends, you get to that place where you're just like, oh, feeling feeling emotionally fulfilled, totally serene, happy, content, all the things that I said, because you're getting yourself unstuck from the sticky things. Yeah. And and we have the ace of air, which is all about it's I love this. You go from the 10 of water, which tens are always about closing out a cycle. This is having arrived, but then you get to the point, you just don't sit there and you're like, okay, I'm done. Like, we're never done in life. And it's making way for a new beginning. And this card is all about, I want to say, like, synchronicity and fate and karma, fate and destiny. I don't know so much about karma, but it's like it's a new beginning that that this place of peace that you're in allows you to move into, because of making these amends and doing things in a different way, showing up, being more in balance through giving and receiving equally. Many of us have the tendency to go one way or the other. We overgive because whatever, there's tons of reasons why, or we take more than we give. Again, tons of reasons why. There's you know it's a part of being human. It's a part of typically not healing things from the past. There's always more to look at within ourselves. And so the more you can come into balance, the better you feel ultimately. Okay, so I'm going to look at the Oracle Tarot. We have Test of Courage. Yeah, it is. It does take courage to to not only face the past and face anything any wrongs you might have made towards someone, but then to actually say the S word, go up to someone and say, I'm so sorry, to actually own it. that can be really difficult to admit that you might have made a mistake. Oh, yeah, it's not easy. Mhm, I've had to do that way too many times in my life. But it's, it happens. As long as you can do it, as long as you can show up and at least admit your side of things. People are so much more open and receptive because they're like, "Oh, you're human too. Thank you for saying something. I appreciate that for the most part." Um, and strength. Yes, courage and strength. We get courage twice because it says courage and open heart. So you're really having to tap into some deep courage within yourself, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, knowing that you have to act with integrity, show up in your life authentically as yourself, all the good and bad. And yeah, tap into that strength to do what needs to get done because it will lead you to open heart. Open heart. It will lead you to the open ultimate fulfillment with that open heart. And Bearing Redbeard is here. Ah. Have fun getting the kids. um, oh, and then we get the nine of cups, relationship bliss. Yeah, this is a place where you just feel you yeah, it's one it's one away from the ten of water. It's very close to a place of happiness and contentment and ultimate fulfillment, having gotten yourself to a place where you're just like, I am more interested in feeling happy and feeling good than in being right or thinking that I'm better or I know better, whatever it is. It's like you just you just want that peace. And this is again, like I said, forgiving yourself, finding the peace within yourself through your own acceptance of your flaws. We all have them. And as long as you can show up and own that, you are golden, as they say. All right, let's look at the I'm gonna look at the Dreaming Way Tarot. This is a new deck that I got for my birthday that I've started incorporating. I'm liking this deck more and more as I spend some time with it and get to know it. We got the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is very passionate, very is on a mission, following his, and I say his because it's a knight, but I mean gender doesn't matter. But it's like doing things from a place of inspiration, being on a mission where you feel inspired, you feel excited, you want to give something your all. Hmm. I just had the because I said give something your all, and it makes me think, yeah, maybe you've been in this place of no, because we have both. Giving too much in some ways and not enough in other ways. And this is you just like kind of having some kind of epiphany, having some kind of like, all right, I'm gonna change things up. I'm gonna do things differently. Oh, and then we get the Five of Swords. Five of Swords. I mean, got the Five of Wands and now the Five of Swords. Feeling It's like Five of Swords is like tension and conflict. The image on this picture, on so sorry. The image here. This person has all the swords, and this person is over here like looking kind of sad. And there's clearly not a balance. There's someone taking too much and someone not not taking it all. Not uh, you know, maybe they gave all their swords away and now they're feeling bummed because they're like, haha, I got all the swords. And there's, there needs to be balance. And there can't always be an equal balance, like, because there's 5 swords here, but she could certainly give 2 of her swords away. I mean, she can barely hold all of them as it is. Yeah, and maybe this is what you're mending. Either you were the one who was keeping everything to yourself and not sharing, or someone else was doing this with you. You were enabling someone to do this with you. And we get the Ace of Pentacles, an ace on an ace. New beginning, new everything's lining up really perfectly because you're finally cleaning up and you're creating space for a whole new something to come into your life that could be very prosperous. Because now when we're in stress mode, we have a much harder time thinking and finding the clarity we need to make the correct decisions to move forward. And because you're finally in this place of peace and serenity and happiness, now you're like getting these like downloads, because the aces are often about divine gifts. And so are always about divine gifts. It's the universe being like, here you go. you you have done the work and here's your reward. Okay, where am I at? Let's look at the Osho Zen Tarot. Transformation. Yeah, yep. You are going through a major transformation. As you release it, excuse me, it creates momentum. You feel better and better. You're purposely burning down, with the phoenix rising from the ashes. You just feel better. You're like, I'm done with the old way. I'm done with the imbalance. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to find this inner peace. I can so relate to this. Schizophrenia. This card has started coming up a lot recently. And this is feeling stuck between two things. Stuck between the past and the future. Stuck between depression and anxiety. Stuck between two choices. Do you do this? Do you do that? Stuck between wanting to hold a grudge and just letting bygones be bygones. When you get to a point where you just surrender, you don't even try and make a choice, you just release yourself. It can be scary. It can be scary to let go, but that's usually when you discover that you can fly. And yeah, the phoenix can fly. You suddenly discover something about yourself. It takes a lot of courage to let go, to let yourself drop, to fall. But it's, with the birds up here, it's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be better than you think it will. And then we get the two of fire, possibilities. Yeah, because once you discover you can fly, once you gain that clarity and that peace, uh, now you can see the bigger picture. This card came up for you in the last reading too, because you have the broader perspective and the sun is coming up, and so things are being illuminated. You're gaining clarity. You're becoming enlightened to what you're actually facing, and you're like, oh, I see the way now. I see the way to this new beginning. And it's through peace and serenity, which come from surrender. So, yes. Where am I at? Okay. Let me look at the wisdom of Avalon real quick. Try to get through as many decks as I can. I love using all my cards. The water fairy, feelings and emotions. Yeah. Yeah, you're working through whatever feelings of nostalgia, pain, sadness, regret, remorse. Oh man, I've been thinking about those things this morning a lot. Um, letting those feelings come up, letting them wash over you, allowing them to be there rather than suppressing, pushing away, compartmentalizing. And then we get the high priestess, discernment, prescience, prophecy, and vision. Yeah, you're tapping into through your intuition, you're tapping into your higher power. That's where you receive direct messages from your higher power. You are becoming this transformation could be some kind of spiritual awakening that you're having or spiritual growth. You're you're just again epiphany. You're coming to some kind of major understanding. And the owl, deception and wisdom. And with deception, it's very much about seeing the deception finally, where you may have ignored it before or just hadn't seen clearly before. Now everything's becoming very clear. The owl can see so clearly, see so far, so can the eagle. Imagine a phoenix can see quite far too. and and you're gaining wisdom through having this broader perspective, through finally being able to see beyond focus, your very subjective understanding of things. And I want to look at the angelic messenger cards. What do they have to say? Change. Yep, big change. Big change and transformation. Change takes courage. We humans, we do not enjoy change. We typically resist it, some more than others. And that's the thing. Change is inevitable. So it's kind of the universe, like being like, okay, it's time for something new. You can get dragged kicking and screaming, or you can go willingly. And I feel like you're at a point now where maybe you have resisted change so much in your life, and you're finally to the point where you're like, okay, again, that surrender thing. I know things need to be different, and you get yourself to that place of happiness and peace and contentment so much quicker when you do that. Fulfillment. That's right. Yes. Yep, this is where you're headed. Your transformation is leading you to so much fulfillment. Ooh, and desire. Yeah, and I had where did he go? This Knight of Wands typically feels a lot of desire, a lot of passion. Wants what he wants so badly. This mission that he's on, this mission that you're on, it's like it's to the exclusion of everything else. Your desire is driving you. And our desire, our passion, our inspiration, it comes from our higher power. We feel desire. We feel these things for a reason. We are meant to follow those feelings. And when you do, as you listen, as you follow the feelings, however that works for you, you are tapping into your higher power because you're listening to the messages or you're following the messages. Okay, so I want to finish off with the rune. I'm going to pick a rune. Runes for modern life. What rune will we get today? I've been picking a lot of the same ones. Will we get a different one? Ooh, yes. We have Jera. Jera. We've got someone in the garden. There's some tomatoes, sunflowers, uh, some other things that could be lavender, and a big bright sun overhead. And it's interesting because the sun is red, and here the sun is red as well, and it's just rising, and this is you coming to that place of like, you know, whether you're into gardening or not. People who are into gardening, that's their happy time. That's where they go to their happy place. They're just like they get so much fulfillment out of it. And so if you're not into gardening, there's something else. There's something you're doing. There's something you're cultivating. And this could be just the work that you're doing within yourself where you're pulling out the weeds, you're fertilizing, and you're growing this amazing bountiful, how do I say, you're creating a bountiful harvest through your own efforts, through cleaning up your inner garden. Let's see what the book says. Jera, I always have to just flip through. Because there are no numbers. Jara. Jara. Okay. The meaning: year and harvest. There are strong seasonal associations with this card. This is the rune of the good harvest, or the culmination of a year, or a cycle of planting and growing that results in fruitful crops. In other words, this card suggests that there have been many tough obstacles for you to overcome, but you are about to feel the peace. Oh my God. And peace is highlighted on this card. Peace that comes when success is hard earned and justified. Your hard work, patience, and discipline may soon be rewarded. Enjoy those rewards when you receive them, but don't relax too much. That's right, because you have uh, you've got a new beginning coming. My arm. um, there's a forward momentum with this card, and you are advised to plan ahead. The seasons of the year have a relentless quality, and you need to prepare for the inevitability of another winter when resources may be scarce again. Above all, this card reminds you that life is cyclical and that during the good times, you should build up your strength. Oh my God. Build up your strength. Learn lessons from any hardship. Learn lessons from any hardship. Overcome and prepare for the future, whatever it may bring. Yeah. And there's something really beautiful coming around the corner. And yeah, this is life, right? It's not going to always be ultimate happiness and fulfillment. We have times when we're dealing with stress and tension and conflict, and we have to like come back around again and make those amends again. Like it's the way of things. It's being human. But when you can be as authentic to yourself as possible and keep peace and serenity and fulfillment as your main goals, um, it it works out. It always works out. Let yourself be guided through your intuition, through your desire, your passion, your inspiration. Be strong, have courage, feel the fear, do it anyway. So, there's your reading. It's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share.